I'm really sat in a corner right now filming this. Hey guys, it's Bree here. I'm gonna be showing you what I do in a day in quarantine to make myself feel like less of a piece of shit. Let's be honest, isolation has taken a toll on everyone, so I feel like it's really important to get up and get yourself ready for the day, even if it's just concealer and mascara, just to make yourself feel more obligated to do something else rather than just stay in your pajamas all day. That's fine too though. I just personally don't. I feel like more of a slob when I just don't get ready and I just spend all day and kind of waste it away. So this is what helps me get out there and maybe like motivate me to even get outside for 20 minutes rather than just staying inside all day. First step is priming. I'm gonna prime with moisturizer. This is the Gorgeous Moisturizer from Lush. I keep it in the fridge because I like the way it feels on my skin when it's cold. So I normally just do 4 dabs like that, and then I'll just rub it in. I love this moisturizer because not only does it smell like popsicles, but it's super duper good if you have oily skin because it's packed full with lots of fruit enzymes. So it's not too heavy or greasy. I know girls like me that struggle with oily skin have a lot of trouble finding moisturizers that don't like kind of make your skin look super duper wet throughout the day. So I find this is a good balance. It's really good for brightening your skin as well because of the fruit enzymes. So it'll be good for summertime to get like the dull skin out of the picture. The first thing I do before I put my makeup on is prime, and I don't use primer probably because I don't have any with me, but I also just like the moisturizer. I find this one specifically leaves a nice tacky base, so it's just really nice to use that. And sometimes primer honestly just makes everything worse, so I just prefer the moisturizer. The second step is my brows. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I've tried to use a bunch of different brow pencils because this one can get a little bit pricey, especially if you run through it a lot. But this one is my tried and true. I can't get away from it. It is the ride or die, and I use the shade Taupe. And even other brow pencils that I find have been like kind of a little comparable to this one, the shades is just not, like the shades do not match at all. So not only does this one work for like how well it is and like how non-waxy it is, but the color payoff is also amazing, and it just is a perfect match to my actual hair color. So the first thing I do is my brows. I underline them and I extend the tail just a little bit, and then I will go back and fill out the top bit, not the very front, but just maybe like halfway through the middle, and then upward strokes like this, like following the hair. I go for a more like kind of filled in but a little bit messy like slash bushy look. So that's how I achieve that, is I just follow the hair structures. Then I'll take where my arch goes, which is right there, and I'll just outline it on top, just like that. You see it? And then you connect it with the tail, just like that, and then it becomes a piece. It looks like my hair doesn't go there, but if you just brush your hair up, it actually fills it in. I brush it downwards just to follow the same line and stroke it just like you were right here. But it just makes sure that what's happening right now is I have all the hair pushed down, so it looks like I drew the top part of my bra on, which is essentially what I did, but we don't want that. We want a more natural look, especially since we're going for like an easygoing quarantine look. This is what we're gonna do. So I just go through, brush it out, make sure I don't miss anything. And then for the last little bit, I will start to do like an ombre effect. This is a bit darker back here. It's how I like it. Fix that. And then I'll just take this and do little upward strokes to mimic the hair pieces. Comes out way better on camera. Okay. And then just brush it out. Sometimes you'll get these little patchy spots too. I don't like them, so I'll just go in and cover them up. And then voila. We're not done though. That's just the that's the long part. I then take concealer. I use the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one's almost empty. I'm like scraping from the bottom. I use shade Light 2, which is vanilla, and then I'll just take a little bit like that. I will put it on the back of my hand, just like that. And then I will find my concealer brush, which is this one. Just a super like flat-headed brush. And then I'll take a little bit, just on the tip, go in, and then I will lightly line my brow and just conceal to make sure that it's like super duper like fine pointed. We want a really nice like defined brow because it helps shape your face a lot nicer than if we didn't do this. Even if I'm using brow gel, I will still do a little bit of definition under the arch with concealer because I just find it helps lift your face a lot better. So that's the under bit. I'm gonna take a bit more and then I'm gonna go on top. I do my brows first. I know a lot of people don't do that because it can mess up like your top bit here when you're putting foundation on, but I just feel like this is what works best for me. And this is definitely, I've been doing this forever. Like it's very rare that I will do my brows after my foundation, but that's just me. So now that that's all outlined, you can probably see that there's still some pieces that need to be filled in again. So that's what we're gonna go back and do. With the same pencil, I like to go underneath here just to bring back any definition that the concealer might have taken away. And then go up here again, here. Basically just go through the brow. And then I take my brow gel and I brush it upwards and through, and I like to kind of like bring it up, not like blend it down, but upwards to give it a little bit of a bushy look. So I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. It lasted me forever. I bought this literally a year ago. It'll be a year ago this month. And it's my all-time favorite one. I know there's some drugstore dupes, but I haven't found one that's quite as good as this one. And like I said, it lasts me a full year. I'm pretty sure there's like still at least half of it left. And I use it just about every day. So it totally is worth the money. So what I do is I just take this and I brush them upwards. Like instead of down and like with a curve, I go upwards just to give a little bit more body to your brows. I like the bit messy look, but like fresh too. Some Instagram models like take it and they go like nuts with it and they look fabulous, but I just look like a monster. So I like to make it a nice in-between vibe. Yeah, so there we go. That's the difference there. It looks pretty wild. But honestly, I don't do that much. There are people that go nuts with it. I used to use dip brow. I found that was way too crazy. But yeah, that's it. I'm gonna do the other one off camera and then I'll come back and we'll do our next step, which will be foundation. Now that that's done and they both look even. Yeah, okay. All right, now we're gonna move on to foundation. I don't have an actual foundation with me. I only have my camera ready BB cream from Smashbox, which actually has been coming in handy because it's very sheer, so it's like it matches the whole quarantine, like very minimal, just a fresh faced kind of look. So it's definitely been paying off to not have my full coverage foundation with me, because A, it's way easier to apply, and B, it just looks way more natural, so it kind of mixes in with your concealer as well. So this is my go-to. It's the Smashbox Camera Ready BB Cream. It has SPF 35. We've been getting a little bit of sun despite the snow that's on the ground right now, so it's really nice to have SPF in the foundation as well to protect my skin, because I have a buttload of freckles, so they tend to come out in the sun, and it's just nice to have something that kind of blends them all together as opposed to like covers them all up. But I do have the Anastasia foundation coming, the luminous foundation, and I'm very excited for that. That'll probably never get here, but this one's super awesome. You can apply it with your fingers if you want a really sheer look. You can apply it with a brush if you want a more like full coverage look, just kind of like blend it out, put it on your brush. It'll not pick up as much of the product like your fingers would, because the foundation kind of seeps into your fingers. But I like to go the middle route and have medium, like in between, and use a beauty blender. This is the Morphe one. It's one of my favorite ones. I like it a little bit more than the Real Technique sponge. It just works for me. I've gone through 10 or 12 of these, no lie, seriously. It is the best one ever, and this one's a little bit dirty right now, but it is what it is. I said I'll do my makeup, not wash my brushes. But all I do is I just take the flat side and I put a bit on like this, probably that little pea size amount, and then I just dab my mirror. And then I just work it in like this. It blends really easy, like there's no work to it really. I'm gonna do half my face so you guys can see how light the coverage is, but just how little it helps to like even out your skin tone and blur out a little bit of redness and discoloration that you might have. And I recommend bouncing this one in as opposed to like dragging it. I will drag it down my neck though, because we don't really need to focus that much on it, where it basically is so blendable it's gonna like smear right in. But by patting it in, you're not streaking it across your face, and you're really making sure that it's kind of getting into your face just like that. So I just bounce that in. There's a brush fiber on my face. And it dries pretty quickly. It feels really nice on your skin, and it does give a nice little bit of a glow too. So it's really nice. I have really oily skin, so I tend to be a bit more matte, but having a little like soft glow like this is really nice. So you guys can probably see the difference between my two skin, between my face. It's not like drastic, but you can just see how like it helped even out some of the skin tone. Like I'm a little bit purple here, but now it's like normal over here. And my forehead is still super shiny. What else is new? But it just helps make everything blend easier. And like even my under eyes, you can tell like right here I'm really red and purple, but here it's like a bit clearer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. Same amount. So it's about a full pump for your face. I do about half a squeeze for each side. And I will take a little bit and go over like these spots right here in the middle of my face, because I find that's just where my pores come out the most. And especially my area right here, which I'm badly broken out in right now. Like I said, this BB cream is very sheer, so you're not going to get like that maximum full coverage, but that's not what I'm going for right now. I want enough that's going to even out my skin tone, make my skin look nicer than what it is, but not too nice, not fake. And we're just going to go from there just to feel a little bit pretty. I have a really bad breakout right up here, so we're going to try and cover that with concealer though, because even though we want to be natural, we want to look like we have naturally pretty skin. That's what we're going for. So the next step would be my concealer. Like I said, this is the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. Again, I've tried millions of concealers. This one is by far my favorite. I have bought it countless times. I actually have a fresh one here waiting to go because this guy's almost out, but I don't like to waste, so I'm gonna scrape the sides until I get the very last bit of concealer in this because A, it's expensive, and B, we're not a made to waste product here. That's just not who that's not who we are. It's not us. So normally it comes out on the stick too. I'll just like rub that on my eye as well because we don't waste. And I just take a little tiny bit, about that much, and I will blend that out like right across, like up here on my nose, over here, and right here as well. And normally I'll see people go like under their eyes and then blend it out. I blend it out as I go with this side of the Beauty Blender because I find this one starts to dry very fast, and it's just a lot easier to blend it out when it's really wet as opposed to when it's a little dry. Blend it in my nose, lift up your eye to make sure that you're getting it in there. And then I'll even set that right now. Instead of going onto my other eye, I use the Too Faced Born This Way translucent setting powder. I've been through, this is my second tube. They normally last me about a year and a half. It's my favorite one, ride or die. I've tried the Laura Mercier, I've tried all of them. This one is the one that I keep going back to. But I really want to try the Hourglass one. That's expensive, and it's about half of what comes in the Too Faced one, so not yet, sis. But I just pat it with the side that I didn't use for my foundation, the flat side of the Beauty Blender, and I just open up my eye, look up, and pat it down to make sure that I'm really getting in the crease, and we have no creases. That's the goal. And then I just do the exact same thing to the other eye. Okay, since both my under eyes are done, I then move on to concealing the broken out parts of my face. Everywhere. No, just kidding. Nor am I. So this spot right here is pretty elevated on my skin, so I'm just gonna dab that. And I like to do a little bit up here because I do have a little bit of texture. So I will go in and blend that out just on my forehead. And as for the little spot that I'm really trying to cover up, instead of my Beauty Blender, I'm gonna take the same brush that I used to do my eyebrows, and I'm just going to dab it on top of that, like you would with the Beauty Blender, but with the brush. This takes up less product than the Beauty Blender, like I said with the foundation. And not only is it smaller, it allows for greater precision, and it's just gonna cover it easier. And then you just take your finger and you dab the excess and you cover it just like that. And then normally I'll take a smaller brush, this is an eyeshadow brush, and I'll dip it in with the powder and then just dab it over the blemish. And boom. She's covered up. Not perfect because, like I said, we're not going for perfect. We're going for natural beauty. And then I just take the little bit of concealer that's left and I put it on my chin because this is another one of my bad breakout spots. And then I just blend that out really easy. Take a bit more powder. Dip it in. And then this is gonna go all over my face. We're gonna go here, we're gonna go up here, over here, and we're just gonna like dab it in. We're gonna set all that foundation, all that concealer, and just make sure that that stuff doesn't budge. So we're almost done. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna use bronzer. So I'm gonna be using my favorite bronzer. It's the Nars Laguna, or Laguna. I say Laguna, but I get some people say Laguna, so I don't know. Come for me if I'm not pronouncing it right. Normally I'll use a smaller brush to really like get in there like this one, but since I'm going for more of like a colored look because I'm super duper pale, I will use a bigger one. This is actually a foundation brush by Real Techniques, and I'll just dip it in, wipe off the excess, and then just go upwards. So you're gonna want to take it like, here's your cheekbone. Instead of going inwards, you're gonna want to go a little bit upwards. Like that, and then blend in circular motions. Like I'm kind of going in like a circle instead of like back and forth. You want to really buff it in there and blend in circular motions. Take take a bit more, and then I'm gonna add it up here to make my entire face look colorful and bronzed. You can already see the difference that it made on this side of my face as opposed to this pale side. It adds a lot more color. Add a bit more. I'm a bit heavy-handed with the contour and the bronzer. I could really care less about it looking crazy. I like the little bit of color to my face. Going again, and then you go upward, circular motions. Don't be scared to get it on your cheeks, that's okay. We're just gonna cover it with blush, and if anything, it's just gonna add a bit more color. I like to focus a little bit denser in here because that's like the shadow of your face, kind of like a contour, but we're not that bougie today. We're just gonna do bronzer. And then a bit up here. Hide that double chin from eating way too much McDonald's. And for the final bit of bronzer, I like to bronze my nose. This is the brush that I use to bronze my nose. So I just take the same bronzer, dip in, tap off, and then if you guys can see, I just go in on the corners. Very lightly, brush it just like that. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but it immediately adds definition to my nose. A little bit of color, a little bit of definition. Ain't not hurt nobody. Going again, this side. And yeah. So there we go. Defined, colored, no more pale Casper. We're here. And she's here to be bronzy, but still pale at the same time because it's May 5th and we are in a snowstorm right now, so we have to work with what we got. Now for my favorite part, blush. This is the blush palette that I'll be using. I have a Fenty blush on the way, and it's cream. I can't wait to get it, but it probably won't be here until June. So this is what we're working with, my favorite blush palette from Nars. It is the Wanted One Cheek palette. I'm going to be mixing these two shades together. They're my everyday shades. This one's a super duper pinky tone, and this one is more of like a highlight slash like pink blush. But I like to mix those together to give a little bit of a sheen, but also have that nice pink cheek. So I'll be going in like this, mix the two of them together on this blush brush. And I don't even tap off the excess, and I just start in the middle of my cheek. And then I go upwards in circular motions, kind of just like the contour. I like this. And I focus it right here on my cheekbones. And then I drag it upwards. Drag it upwards. And then I dab. You see that? You see the color that it adds? This looks 10 times better than this side, even though like just then they both looked fine. Do it again, same thing with the other side. Focus on your cheekbones in circular motions and then go up. And then dab. Really disperse that color there. Don't be scared to only have blush on this part of your face. If you disperse it out, it just gives you more color. I even like to be a little bit extra and go in and dab it on my nose because I love that whole like colored look right there. I love it. I hate this lighting. I hate how this lighting is making me look. And now for the last step, highlight. I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush. This is the Jaclyn Hill brush from the Morphe collection. And I'm gonna go in with this highlight up here in the top corner and then a little bit of this one as well. So we're gonna take a lot of this one and just a smidge of that one, dust off the excess, and then go right on the corner and drag it down right on your cheekbone. This is what we want. We wanna see that nice glow. A nice healthy glow. Again, on the other side. And then over this way. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what we want to see. Right there. I like being extra glowy because I'm oily. I don't like that oily look. I like the glowy look. So I even go extra, go up here, go on my nose, right here. The signature Rudolph look. right here. And then take a bit on the top of your brush like that, and then go up here. Under your cheekbone, under your eyebrow bone, sorry, your arch. Favorite place. You see it makes such a difference there as opposed to right here. Same thing over here. And just a little bit more. Ain't hurt nobody. We ain't hurting nobody. And just like that. And okay, I lied, that wasn't the last step. The last step's actually mascara. But that was technically the last face step, so that's what we're going for. The final step is the mascara. This one's my favorite one. Currently loving it. It is the Roller Lash by Benefit. Love the wand. You'll see why I love it. You'll see. You just wait. And there we go. Do you see that difference? Tell me you see it. Tell me you see that difference. Don't mind that little bit of mascara down there. I always get mascara on my lower lash line, so I just take it, little spoolie, and then just wipe it away. Clean. But do you see that difference? I have long eyelashes anyway, but they're blonde and they're like straight. They don't curl up. So this really helps to make my lashes voluminous. Plus, like I said, we're not going for no glam look. We're natural here. We're just making ourselves feel pretty while we sit on the couch and play Animal Crossing all day. We're not looking to be like divas. We let our personality do that for us. I'm glad that this can cover my mouth when I put on mascara because I actually look like this. So I'm glad that this can cover it. Oh, I made a mess of that eye, but that's okay. We'll wipe it away. Okay, that's how it's gonna be. That's what I thought. We are done. Normally I'd finish off with a lip gloss, but I don't have one near me, so that's just how today is gonna go. Pretty sure it's in my car. But yeah, this is the finished look. This is what helps me get through the day during quarantine when you can't do anything. Really nice if you have to go to the grocery store, just grab a couple things. You don't feel as, you don't look as shitty as you feel, I should say. And yeah, it just takes 20 minutes of your time, sometimes quicker. You don't have to do the in-depth steps like the nose and everything like I did, but it's just really nice to like help get yourself off the couch and make yourself feel a little bit pretty, because it's really important that we do that stuff now while these times are so hard and stressful. So I hope that these tips and tricks found you well and that you enjoyed just chatting with me for a couple minutes. And hopefully I'll be back with more in-depth videos on how I distract myself from playing Animal Crossing for 10 hours a day. So yeah.